Korea's exports of instant noodles or ramyeon surpassed the $100 million mark for the first time last month on the back of the growing popularity of K-culture and K-food.
K-팝을 비롯한 한국 문화 및 한국 음식의 인기가 높아짐에 따라 우리나라 라면 수출 금액이 지난달 처음으로 1억 달러를 돌파했습니다. We're talking about monthly sales, and for the first time, as you just said, it surpassed that huge milestone, $100 million.
Right. These numbers are from the Korea Customs Service, and these numbers have spiked. Not overnight. It's been a gradual trend upwards.
Yeah.
But I think recently, this trend, I think, as featured on, or it's not even a trend, but I think as people around the world have seen ramyeon and seen their favorite stars eating it on different programs and different dramas, it's been something like, oh, I'd like to try that.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand that this particular boost in sales was driven by the popularity of this particular really spicy noodle brand.
Right,
and then they mix it with carbonara sauce. And so you have a mixture of sort of very, very hot and spicy. And then, how would you describe carbonara? It's sort of...
Oh, gosh. It's sort of like
it's hard to describe. Not spicy, basically.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's kind of softened by the not spicy part.
Yeah, and that particular brand, I suppose, has become very, very popular.
Right. And I think it's also the spiciness part of it becomes sort of like a personal or social media challenge.
Yeah.
And so I think with that, and then with certain stars jumping on the bandwagon, it's sort of a perfect storm in a good way as far as for the sales of ramyeon.
Yeah, I agree. And are you a fan of spicy ramyeon?
Oh, absolutely,
Are you?
absolutely. I don't do it for the sake of doing it. I don't do it for the sake of saying I did, a certain level of. But I certainly like it in my normal diet, probably to a fault. So
To a fault라고 하면은요, 너무 좋아해서 탈이다 이런 느낌이 좀 있거든요. 자, 그러면 이제 정말 외국에서 라면을 얼마나 많이 좋아하는지 우리가 여러 소셜 미디어 포스트를 통해서도 알 수 있지만 이렇게 수치상으로도 알 수 있습니다. 지금 보면은 이제 월 기준 처음으로 1억 달러 돌파를 4월 달에 했다라는 데이터가 나왔는데요. We're looking at sales surpassing a particular mark. Let's look at that expression.
right, passing a certain mark. You can also call it a milestone.
Yeah.
So it could be. I mean, in some ways they are arbitrary. This number doesn't have any particular more significance than any other number, except for that we've decided this will be, something that we're aiming for, a nice round number. So if you're passing the $100 million mark, that's certainly a good goal or a figure that a business might put out there. That's something
right.
that they've exceeded.
지금 자넷 선생님이 round number라고 했죠? 이거 똑 떨어지는 숫자라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 이게 1억이라는 똑 떨어지는 숫자를 하나의 기준점으로 삼았을 때 그 점을 넘었다. Sales passed this mark라고 표현을 했고요. 그 다음에 there's this growing popularity of ramen.
Right, right. I mean, anything, obviously, if it's growing, it's increasing or it might be expanding. In this case, growing popularity. If you walk out onto the streets of any of the busy areas of Seoul these days, you'll see a lot of presumably travelers or tourists, and you'll see kind of what they have in their bags that they're taking back home. And a lot of times, peeking out of those shopping bags will be ramyeon,
Right.
and instant noodles and other food products from Korea. And that definitely shows the growing popularity of these K-food items.
Absolutely. 자, 높아가는 인기를요. 영어로 growing popularity라고 합니다. 다시 한번 제가 헤드라인을 읽어볼게요. Korea's exports of instant noodles or ramyeon surpassed the $100 million mark for the first time last month on the back of the growing popularity of K-culture and K-food. Now let's move on to the next headline. Janet.
Patients seeking medical care covered by the National Health Insurance will be required to present proof of ID starting today in an effort to enhance the fairness of the insurance system by preventing free riders from abusing it.
오늘부터 건강보험 급여가 적용되는 진료를 받을 때 신분증 등을 반드시 제시해야 하는 건강보험 본인 확인 의무화 제도가 시행됩니다. 이는 보험 무임승차자의 제도 악용을 방지해 보험제도의 공정성을 높이기 위한 조치입니다. Tell us more.
So I did not even realize that you could receive medical care without presenting ID. I guess I took it for granted that you would definitely have to show proof of ID. But I think if you work the system and people who are keen on perhaps abusing it might have
Yeah.
found ways to sort of either quote borrow IDs or
Right.
do other things that would have kind of obviously been examples of abusing the system.
Yeah, having, been to the doctors numerous times myself, I think the general practice was to just say what your name is and then your ID number. You could just say it without
Right.
showing them your actual ID card. And then they will look it up and then they'll, offer you the discounted price with the insurance that you're covered with. But this
Right.
could be misused, right?
You know what? I think if you are a person that had no intention of misusing the program or
Yeah.
the system,
Yeah.
then you might not have ever thought about it. But now
Exactly.
that
Nor did
you
I, yeah.
are describing what it's like to go to the doctor, you're
Yeah.
right. I don't think I've ever been asked
Right.
for proper ID.
Exactly, but now if
That will all
you
change
want
starting
to,
today.
Exactly, if you want to be covered by insurance, you have to show your actual ID of some sort. Of course, you can do that online as well, and that's for the first time you go to a particular general practitioner or hospital or doctor. The second time you go, you won't have to. I understand,
Okay.
but but
Right.
you will have to have your physical ID with you.
And
I believe, the first
examples
time.
examples of proper documentation could be your resident registration card. It could also be a driver's license, and it could also be a passport.
Right.
And obviously, in the case of minors, or if you are someone that wouldn't have one of these forms of ID, you can provide other forms, but those are the three main that would be most accepted.
Right. 첫 번째 얘기했던 게 주민등록증이죠. Registration, what was the word?
Resident registration
Resident
card.
registration card. It's a mouthful.
Yes.
주민등록증, 그다음에 이제 운전면허증, 그리고 여권 다 가능합니다. 그 외에도 이제 나를 증명할 수 있는 그런 아이디를 보여주면은 되겠습니다. 그러지 않으면은 이제 요금 폭탄을 맞을 수가 있어요.
Right.
Okay, let's have a look at the first expression. Enhance the fairness of something.
I think that's the core of this story. The whole point of this new rule change is to enhance the fairness of this healthcare system,
Yeah.
which obviously it's paid for by many. And if you are someone that is trying to reap the benefits or advantages of it without paying your part of it, then you are trying to get something for nothing.
Yeah,
So the whole system, the whole point is to enhance the fairness of it for everyone.
Enhancing은 무언가를 증가시킨다, 늘린다라는 말인데요. Fairness가 공정함, 공평성을 말하고 있어요. 그래서 공정성을 높이는다라는 표현이 enhancing the fairness라고 표현을 할 수 있겠고, 무임승차 하면 안 되겠죠.
Right.
It's a free rider in English, right?
Definitely. A
Yeah.
free rider, that's a case where it's a literal free rider.
Right.
Literally, you are riding for free, whether it be on the subway, the metro, if you board without paying or if you jump the turnstile, then you are a free rider in the sense of a program or a system or
Yeah.
some kind of service that you're receiving. A free rider is somebody that's doing that, not paying,
Right.
but trying to get something for free.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned jumping the turnstile there. turnstile은 개찰구예요. 그래서 지하철역에서 이제 저기 카드 찍지 않고 돈을 내지 않고 개찰구 뛰어넘으면 당연히 안 되죠. 예, 요거 이제 무임승차 설명하시면서
Right.
you cannot jump the turnstile. You shouldn't do that.
Right.
But if you do, if you get on the subway without paying, you become a free rider.
Exactly.
Which is not good. You don't do that.
No. It's illegal. You
Of
shouldn't
course,
do it,
yeah.
and you drive the prices up for everybody else who's
Exactly.
paying properly.
Yeah. All right. Well, here is the headline again. Patients seeking medical care covered by the National Health Insurance will be required to present proof of ID starting today in an effort to enhance the fairness of the insurance system by preventing free riders from abusing it.
Flesh-eating piranhas have been spotted swimming in the flooded streets of a Brazilian city following weeks of heavy rain in the country.
네, 브라질이 수주에 걸친 폭우 피해를 입은 후 범람 상태인 한 도시에서 육식성 물고기 피라냐가 헤엄치는 모습이 목격됐습니다. This sounds scary.
Very scary, and in fact, quite literally something out of a
A horror movie.
A horror movie, like a
Yeah.
Hollywood movie where piranhas are chasing you.
Yeah, yeah.
Or you're in the water and you feel something touching your feet.
Right.
First off, I noticed, and people might have heard this too, but I said piranha, and you
In
pronounced
Korean, we say piranha.
Right,
But in English, I also say piranha.
Right, and I think both are totally right. I
Yeah.
would say from an American angle, piranha is much more widely used. But I do know that in Korean and also
Right.
in other English-speaking countries around the world, it is piranha.
Well, yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
yeah.
Many different pronunciations.
Of the same word, which is what
Yeah.
makes English funky.
Yes.
Yes, but this is in a region called Porto Alegre in the state of Rio Grande do Sul in Brazil. And if you see the footage, it's absolutely it's devastating, really, what it
Right.
is with the water coming up and covering the top of roofs and buildings.
Yeah, the whole area has just been covered in, swamped and flooded right now. But as you said, there's fish, and not just any fish, but we're looking at deadly piranhas in this case.
Right. Not just deadly, or not just any fish, but flesh eating.
Flesh eating.
So, as it sounds, they come and chomp on your flesh. You might have heard of like flesh eating bacteria.
Oh, yeah.
If you are sometimes swimming in a lake and you end up with a case of something nasty like that. But yes, this is a flesh-eating piranha that is now showing up on the streets and floating around. They have nowhere to go. I mean, it's not really their fault.
Right. Well, the first expression is, in fact, flesh eating. But flesh, it's skin, isn't it?
Right. It's actually it is skin.
Yeah.
And it's sort of a it's a sort of a very not crude, but what would you say? Kind of a raw way to say
Yeah.
skin, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't just use it to describe our skin.
That's true.
But yeah, it's sort of describing the actual physical sort of layer of your skin. Used a lot in horror movies, or if you say something, you're seeing something in the flesh. You're seeing it in person.
Right,
So
right.
it's something is right in front of you. You're seeing it in the flesh.
그러네요. 연예인 얘기로 다시 돌아가서 직접 연예인을 그 실물을 내가 이렇게 만났을 때
Right.
see a celebrity in the flesh.
In the flesh. And that
이렇게.
could be a fangirling moment.
Absolutely. 그래서 flesh라는 게 그렇게 직접 사람의 몸, 살 이런 것들을 얘기하는데요. flesh eating piranha라고 했습니다. 그래서
Right.
여기서 이제 육식성이라고 번역을 할 수 있겠지만 뭐 이미지는 상상하시면 되겠습니다. 자, 그다음에 spotting something.
Spotting something, yes. So when you use it like that, so
Yeah.
if I spot something, it is like I'm seeing something. I see something, I spot something. It's usually might not be something that you were looking for. It sounds very casual. It might be like I was walking home and I spotted something randomly on the
Yeah.
side of the street. And if you use it, of course, with be spotted, if you use it like that in the passive, then it would be, you can say something was spotted,
Yeah.
right? So the celebrity was spotted having lunch at a trendy restaurant. Something was spotted.
So they were seen.
They were seen,
네,
right?
그렇습니다. 이제 우연히 발견이 되거나 목격이 됐을 때 be spotted 이렇게 표현할 수 있고요. spot라는 동사가 뭔가 이렇게 찾다라는 의미도 될 수 있어서 spot the difference라고 하면은 우리말로는 그 다른 그림 찾기.
Right.
네, 이거를 영어로는 spot the difference라고 해요. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. Flesh-eating piranhas have been spotted swimming in the flooded streets of a Brazilian city following weeks of heavy rain in the country. Now let's move on to the next headline. Please, Janet.
A new report finds that every 1 degree Celsius of warming knocks out 12% of the world's GDP, with experts estimating that climate change has shaved 37% off of global GDP per capita in the last 50 years.
지난 50년 동안 기후변화로 인해 전 세계 국내 총생산 GDP의 37%가 증발했다는 전문가 의견과 함께 지구온난화로 지구온도가 1도씩 상승할 때마다 세계 GDP가 12%씩 감소한다는 새로운 연구 결과가 발표됐습니다. Alright, so basically climate change is making us poorer?
I think so, or we would be that much richer
Yeah,
if
well.
some of these things were not happening.
Right.
If we link it to the previous story with the crazy piranhas, I think this is all in the larger story of crazy weather phenomena
Yeah.
that we almost seem used to now, that we see every year. And actually, there is a dollar estimate to how much this is actually hurting us, hurting our planet, and hurting our pocketbooks.
Yeah. I guess if you put things into perspective like this headline does, it feels more real because we have a lot of headlines about the weather and climate change and global warming, but oftentimes it doesn't feel real, and at least not
Right.
not something you can tangibly feel and
Exactly.
understand. But if you look at it this way, we would be richer.
Exactly. And it doesn't always hit home. It might be something you see on CNN. It might be something you see
Right.
images of. But when you do it like this, when you put a dollar, a figure to it, then you see that it actually is something that hurts us.
Yeah, absolutely. 이 와닿다. 영어로 hit home이라고 합니다. 자, 이게 어떤 금전적인 것과 함께 결부해서 기후변화 얘기를 하니까 훨씬 더 와닿는 것 같아요. I think it really does hit home. 그래서 무슨 얘기를 하고 있냐면은 every 1 degree Celsius that global warming well, every time that happens,
Right.
that knocks out 12% of the world's GDP.
Right. And even that doesn't always make sense because
Right.
it's such a large
Yeah,
number. It's
yeah.
not like when we say, something a little bit, on a personal level. If you
Yeah,
say,
if you said
if I don't
something
have
at your
this cup of
supermarket
coffee,
or- yeah,
right?
exactly.
If I don't have a
That.
cup of coffee a week, then I can save X number of dollars a year. This is
Yeah.
sort of obviously a large global scale of a number, but it does show that there is according to these numbers, there is an actual link between how we treat the planet and what happens to our pocketbooks.
네, 그렇습니다. 여기서 이제 knock out라는 게 원래 사전적인 의미에서는 무언가를 없애다 이런 의미가 있는데요. 그래서 knockout하고 뒤에 숫자가 나왔죠. 12%.
Right.
세계 GDP의 12%씩 지구 온도가 1도 오를 때마다 GDP가 12%씩 knockout이 된다. 이
Right.
얘기는 그만큼 GDP가 내려간다 이 뜻이겠죠.
Right.
네.
It could be it's sort of a stronger way to say remove. If you can imagine something being knocked out,
Yeah.
it's like wiping it out.
Right.
So it's a stronger way to say that a figure has decreased or
Yeah,
is now removed.
네, 우리 복싱 할 때도 KO가 이게 knockout죠.
That's where it comes from, right? Yes.
And what about estimate? Estimate.
Estimate, right? Estimate in verb form
Yeah.
and estimate, as you said it, when we are speaking of it in noun form or adjective form. But yes, when you estimate something, you're guessing. You're trying to figure out without maybe knowing exactly. And sometimes, like in elementary school, your teacher will tell you to just guesstimate.
Oh yeah.
So you combine guess and estimate. So if you don't know the answer, sometimes your teacher might say, just guesstimate. Just try to figure it out just without maybe having all the facts behind it.
Yeah.
But yes, to estimate would be to try to figure or calculate something without knowing all
That's
of
right.
the facts.
Yes. 추정하다. Estimate. 동사일 때는 발음이 이렇게 estimate고요. 명사일 때는 estimate. 그래서 조금 다르죠.
Right, right.
Okay.
Definitely.
다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. A new report finds that every 1 degree Celsius of warming knocks out 12% of the world's GDP, with experts estimating that climate change has shaved 37% off of global GDP per capita in the last 50 years. Now let's move on to our final headline. Let's have a look.
Studies show that the brains of modern humans are around 13% smaller than those of Homo sapiens, who lived 100,000 years ago.
현대인의 뇌가 10만 년 전에 살았던 호모사피엔스보다 약 13% 작아졌다는 연구 결과가 나왔습니다. So that's not to say that we have smaller brains than other animals, because we
Right.
still have a huge brain compared
Huge
to
heads.
other animals. But I guess not only have our phones become smaller, but our brains have become smaller too.
Maybe there's a link there too.
Yeah. What can you tell us?
So what's interesting about this is that our brains, like you say, are still the biggest.
Yes.
And that's what keeps us, I guess, at the top of the food chain. That keeps us there at the very top. But our brains in general, over the course of the last 100,000 years, have gotten smaller as a species, and that is what this study is looking at. And obviously we don't know for a complete sure, but one of the reasons why that might be the case is because we're thinking more in an abstract way,
Right.
Rather than say thinking, okay, what am I going to have for dinner? I have to go out and spear a boar or something like that.
Yeah. So I think, again, the analogy between our brains and our smartphones and how our phones have actually become smaller than when they first came out, that I think is in a way very similar because our brains are able to deal with things and
Process more.
Exactly, process things better than before. So we don't need our brains to be that big, right?
Right. That's true. And yet there's so much that we don't use our brains for now because of
okay.
these little machines that we have.
Right.
And so, for example, we don't have to memorize phone numbers. We don't have to memorize
true.
driving routes. We don't
yeah.
have to do so many things that even 20 years ago would have been ways that we used our brains. So,
interesting.
as with any tool, there's pros and cons. But in this case, this is looking at how brain size, our actual brain size is shrinking.
네, 그렇습니다. 여러 가지 이유가 있고요. 또 학자마다 약간씩 다른 설을 지금 제시하고 있기는 합니다. 일각에서는 우리가 이제 뇌의 기능이 워낙에 예전에 비해서 좋아졌기 때문에 그렇게 큰 뇌가 필요하지 않다라고 하기도 하고 또 한편으로는 우리가 뇌로 예전만큼 많은 걸 하지를 않으니까 그래서 작아졌다 이런 얘기들도 있고 뭐 다양한 설명은 있는데요. 어쨌든 다 현대인의 뇌에 대한 얘기고 뇌 사이즈가 줄어든 것만은 사실인 것 같아요.
Right.
So we're talking about modern humans.
Modern humans, that would be us.
Yes.
That would be us as a whole, as a people. Modern humans, that's us. And I think there's a lot in there. Modern humans, I think, includes in the understanding of it is sort of all the different activities and all the different things that we do now, whether it be sitting 8 hours a day,
Right.
whether it be, like you say, staring into our smartphones, sort of these things that make us this kind of people now.
Yeah, absolutely. 현대인, modern humans. 자, 그 다음에는 이제 얼마나 작아졌느냐. 정확하진 않지만 대략 한 13% 정도. Around 13%라고 했어요.
Right. Be around. This is probably something we use all the time when you're trying to, like we said earlier, estimate something. You can say, oh, I think, that building is around 10 stories, but I can't be sure. Be around is when something is around something, it's a measure
Right.
that might not be exact, but it's around something. It's an approximation or an estimate.
네, 이 around 뒤에 숫자가 나오면은요, 대략 뭐뭐뭐라는 뜻입니다. 그래서 approximately, about랑 같은 의미예요. 근데 참고로 그냥 단독으로 be around라고 하면 만약에 I'm gonna be around this afternoon. 뒤에 숫자가 나온 게 아니죠.
Right.
내가 오늘 오후에 나가 여기 있을 거야. 이런 식으로 그냥 be around를 단독으로 썼을 때는 내가 여기에 이 근처에 있을 거다.
Oh, yes.
이런 뜻이에요. Not
That's
without the
another-
number.
That's another great usage of it. If you don't follow it up with a number, you can just mean it to say, I will be physically
Yeah.
around. And also sort of included in that be around physically would be sort of like a kind of an included meaning of I'm free. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I might call you up and say, hey, Sue, I'll be around the area.
EBS,
Yeah, I'll be
building.
around Ilsan. So, let me know if you have time for coffee. I'll be around.
그렇죠. 내가 그 부근에 있을 거야. 이런 의미로 be around를 쓸 수도 있는데요. 용법은 전혀 다릅니다만 이제 같은 단어니까 참고로 알아두시면 되겠습니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. Studies show that the brains of modern humans are around 13% smaller than those of Homo sapiens, who lived 100,000 years ago. And that's it for our headlines with Janet.
The city of Seoul has announced a ban on the use of neonicotinoids, a widely used insecticide, as part of efforts to preserve honeybees amid alarming signs of their population decline.
꿀벌 개체수가 급격히 줄어들고 있는 가운데 이를 막기 위한 노력으로 서울시가 살충제로 널리 쓰이는 네오니코티노이드계의 농약 사용을 전면 금지한다고 발표했습니다. Tell us more, Paul.
Yeah, good news for honey lovers and for flowers.
Yeah.
Because yes, this is a very worrying pesticide. It's suspected of causing mass deaths and disappearances of bees all over Korea. There's been concern about this since 2022, and according to the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs, we're looking at something like 7.8 billion honeybees. That's about over 15% of the total population of bees prematurely died or disappeared back in 2022 between September and November. And we've seen more of these cases of sudden disappearances, sudden deaths of bees. The problem is these neonicotinoids are the most widely used insecticides, certainly here in Korea, but also in the US and in other countries. They don't really have an effect on us, on mammals, but they really do seem to have a toxic effect on bees. So it's very good news that they're going to monitor the banning of these pesticides and make sure that our bees are protected.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't want the bees to go extinct. So we need to take action right now, and that's what's being done. Let's have a look at our first expression. This particular insecticide that you mentioned is being widely used, or was, won't be anymore.
Yes. And if something is widely used, it's used a lot. It's used by a lot of people. Not just one person using it many times, but we're talking about many people or many groups or many things, whatever it may be,
Sure.
using it.
widely used, 널리 사용된다라는 뜻입니다. 그러니까 많이 사용되고 있는 이 네오니코티노이드계의 농약, 그것으로 인해서 많은 꿀벌이 죽고 있다고 해서요. 이제 앞으로는 이 살충제를 사용하지 못하게 한다라는 뜻이 되겠고요. It's alarming, how many bees died from this.
Yeah, if something is alarming, well, it alarms us.
Yeah.
It's worrying, it's disturbing, it makes us panic, or it makes us be afraid or think we're in some kind of emergency situation.
네, 굉장히 걱정스럽죠. 놀랍고 그럴 때 It's alarming이라고 할 수 있습니다. 우리 아침에 자다가 알람이 울리면은 깜짝 놀라잖아요.
Yeah.
그런 놀람이 들어있는 표현입니다.
Yeah, my alarm is very alarming.
Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Does it go beep 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 beep?
It does. And especially if I'm having a really nice dream. And then suddenly the alarm goes off and I feel, what's
Yeah.
going on? I'll tell you what else
Exactly.
is alarming.
What?
Your chicken, Sue.
Oh, you mean this one? Of course, we have fire alarm, burglar alarm, and the alarm clock. But in
Yeah.
this case, we're talking about something being alarming.
Yeah, but alarms, apart from the alarm clocks, are usually sounded when there's something wrong, when
That's
there's
right.
a problem of some sort.
그렇죠. 일종의 경종이니까요. 놀랄 때, 우려스러울 때 울리는 것이다 라고 보면 되겠고, 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The city of Seoul has announced a ban on the use of neonicotinoids. Sorry about that. A widely used insecticide as part of efforts to preserve honeybees amid alarming signs of their population decline. Now let's move on to the second headline.
The US government's debt has swelled nearly 50% since the early days of the COVID pandemic, reaching $34 trillion, about $11 trillion higher than where it stood in March of 2020.
미국 정부 부채가 코로나19 유행 초기부터 지금까지 거의 50% 가까이 증가해 2020년 3월보다 약 11조 달러가 늘어난 34조 5천억 달러. 우리 돈으로 4경 6,007조 원 이상인 것으로 나타났습니다. How many zeros is this? This is an astronomical sum.
Yeah, so a million is number plus 6 zeros.
Yeah.
A billion is a number plus 9 zeros. So a trillion is a number plus 12 zeros.
zeros, exactly.
It is $34.5 trillion. This debt is referred to sometimes as the federal IOU. And an IOU is a message you give to someone to say, I owe you this money.
Right.
It's higher than it was in March 2020 by $11 trillion. If you look at it as a portion of the US economy in total, it's more than 120%. It's an amount greater than at any point in the nation's history, according to the CBO. This is a really big deal. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell has said this is something that elected people, referring to the Senate and the House and the President, need to get their arms around sooner rather than later. This could turn nasty. We had a financial crisis back in 2008, 2009. I think there are some who are concerned we could be heading down another disastrous road if something isn't done.
Exactly. The debt in America, it has swelled is the expression we're looking at here.
Yes, when I think of swell, I think of bellies and balloons.
Yeah.
Because it's growing bigger.
Right.
So if you think of a balloon, blowing up a balloon, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. It swells in size. Or when you eat too many hamburgers, your stomach swells and swells and swells.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
it's getting larger, similar to soar, for example. But we use soar when we think of a direct line up, whereas with this amount of money, it's like the mass of it is increasing, so it's swelling.
그렇죠. 상처 부위가 이렇게 부풀어 오를 때 그게 swell 했다. The area that I hurt myself, or maybe I got a bruise or something. It swells.
Yes.
Or it swelled.
It's
was
swollen.
Yeah, swollen. Normally when we talk about our skin, but in this case, debt has swelled. 부채가 그만큼 늘어났다, 증가했다 이 뜻이고요. Now, if we compare this to the early days of the COVID pandemic, it's actually gotten very big.
Yeah, and we talk about the early days of something. That means at the beginning of something, at that first point, that early point in whatever it may have been.
The early days of something, 무언가의 초창기가 되겠습니다. 만약에 나의 초창기 시절 얘기를 하고 싶으면 in my early days 이렇게 말하면 되겠죠. 자, 그럼 다시 한번 헤드라인 읽어보겠습니다. The US government's debt has swelled nearly 50% since the early days of the COVID pandemic, reaching $34 trillion, about $11 trillion higher than where it stood in March of 2020.
Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi and other high-ranking officials have been found dead after their helicopter crashed in a foggy mountainous region of the country's northwest, according to state media.
에브라힘 라이시 이란 대통령과 여러 고위 관리들이 탑승한 헬리콥터가 짙은 안개 속에 이란 북서부 지역 산악지대에 추락하면서 전원 사망했다고 국영 언론이 보도했습니다. Now they have gone into 5 days of mourning, I believe.
This
Tell us more.
This is a very big deal. He's the second in command, as it were, under Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei.
Yeah.
And it comes at a time where we have so much unrest in the Middle East. So it's when it happened, I think it was a big shock around the world, not just for Iran, but everybody was like, "What does this mean? Has he really died?" But yes, it's been confirmed there in this period of mourning. It was not just him; it was also the foreign minister, and as well as the governor of Iran's East Azerbaijan province, with other officials and bodyguards. So the first president, will take over as long as the supreme leader agrees. That should happen relatively soon, and there should be a new presidential election within 50 days.
Yes, I believe it's going to be next month. And around the end of next month.
We'll see what happens, though. This is whenever a leader dies in sudden circumstances, I think a country is thrown into turmoil, and especially at this time when we're dealing with so much pressure all around the Middle East, it feels like this is a very sensitive situation.
Absolutely. Let's look at high-ranking officials. What does that mean?
If you're high-ranking, you're top level. You're up there. For example, I would consider the president of a country, the prime minister, the vice president, the deputy prime minister, the foreign minister, the secretary of state. All those are high-ranking officials.
Ranking, of course, means, there's...
It's your level.
Yeah, your
your
level.
status.
In number 1, number 2, number 3, those are your ranks.
Coming from the military. So we think of a high-ranking military official would be the admiral, for example, or a major general.
그렇죠. 우리도 외래어로 이렇게 랭킹 1위, 랭킹 2위 이런 식으로 말하잖아요. 그게 이 단어인데요. R-A-N-K-I-N-G, ranking. 앞에 high가 붙어서요. 높은 순위에 있다. 그게 바로 고위가 되겠고요. officials는 관리가 되겠습니다. 그래서 아까 얘기한 이제 장관뿐만 아니라 그 외에도 많은 정부 부처의 고위 관리들도 함께 했었는데 안타까운 이런 사고가 있었습니다. Looking at how the weather was, it looks like it was very foggy.
Yeah, meaning there was lots of fog, and fog is that weather condition when the air becomes opaque, where you cannot see sometimes your hand in front of your face. It can
Yeah.
be that foggy.
foggy, 굉장히 흐릿하다, 안개가 자욱하다라는 뜻입니다. Well, here's the headline again. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi and other high-ranking officials have been found dead after their helicopter crashed in a foggy, mountainous region of the country's northwest, according to state media. Now here's our next headline.
Blue Origin's tourism rocket has launched passengers to the edge of space for the first time in nearly 2 years, ending a hiatus prompted by a failed uncrewed test flight.
네. 미국 우주 탐사 기업 블루 오리진의 관광 로켓이 과거 무인 시험 비행 실패로 인한 공백기를 뒤로 하고 거의 2년 만에 승객을 태우고 우주로 발사됐습니다. Tell us more.
Well, this is the 7th crewed flight that Blue Origin have had, the NS-25. It launched from a private ranch in West Texas. And it's the first time in 2 years after that problem that they had with that uncrewed flight. They had the oldest person to reach the edge of space. 90 years old Ed Dwight was on board.
And he also became the first Black American.
And congratulations to him. I mean, it's incredible what they can do nowadays. They went at more than 3 times the speed of sound. That's something like 2,000 miles an hour, which is, we're talking over 3,000 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
It went past the Kármán line, which is 100 kilometers above the Earth's surface. That's the edge of space. And they got to be weightless for a few minutes. They got to see some amazing views of Earth, and then they went back down again.
네, 그렇습니다. 우주로 발사됐다는 게 엄밀히 말하자면은 우주의 가장자리인데요. 지구의 대기권 그리고 외계 사이에 있는 이 카르멘 라인이라는 경계선입니다. 고도 100km 상에 있고요. 그거를 영어로는 edge of space라고 표현을 했네요.
Yes, so the edge of space is that little area, that 100 kilometers above the Earth,
Yeah.
where the atmosphere meets no atmosphere.
Right.
And it's the point designated where you say, this is, if you leave this, if you go any further, you will be in space as opposed to within Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, and edges, you can have the edges of a piece of paper, for
Exactly,
example.
yes.
You use it here and there. 가장자리라는 뜻의 edge, 그리고 space가 같이 들어가서요. 우주의 가장자리, the edge of space. What about the word hiatus?
First of all, I love the word hiatus. I love the
Yeah.
sound of it. I love the spelling Hiatus, and it means a pause.
Yeah.
Basically, that's all it is, a pause of whatever it is. I don't think Morning Special ever goes on hiatus.
I don't think it's ever been on a hiatus.
No, because we're
No.
broadcasting, even if it's recorded, it's broadcast 7 days a week. But you have, for example, some variety shows or some dramas will go on hiatus for 6 months and then come back with a new series. If you're working, you might need to go on hiatus. If you're pregnant, for example, it's Couples Day. Let's say you're having a baby, you take maternity or paternity leave and you say, sorry, I'm on hiatus.
Pop stars, they also take a break sometimes.
Exactly.
They're on hiatus.
We've got BTS in the military, they're on hiatus
They
because
are.
of it.
네, 이렇게 be on hiatus라고 하면은 지금 공백기를 갖고 있다, 쉬고 있다 이런 의미가 되겠습니다. 자, 여기서는 그 우주 비행을 얘기하고 있죠. It was on hiatus for 2 years, but it successfully was launched recently. Well, here's the headline again. Blue Origin's tourism rocket has launched passengers to the edge of space for the first time in nearly 2 years, ending a hiatus prompted by a failed uncrewed test flight. Okay, and here's our final headline.
France has issued scratch and sniff postage stamps that smell like a bakery to celebrate the country's artisan baguette.
프랑스가 자국의 정통 바게트를 기념하기 위해 긁으면은 이 빵 냄새가 나도록 만들어진 특별한 우표를 발행했습니다. I'd love to get my hands on one of these.
Yes, and if I did, I'd say ooh la la, as they do
Yeah.
in France. This is quite fun. It's a little bit expensive. It costs you 1.96 euros.
Okay.
But it is beautiful. It's got a baguette decorated with a red, white, and blue ribbon, which is, of course, the colours of the French national flag. And it has a bakery scent. I don't know about you, Sue, but when I was a kid, we had these scratch and sniff cards.
Yeah,
They'd
I
sometimes
remember
be given
those.
away in magazines or in kids' comics.
Yeah.
And you would scratch it and it would have whatever fragrance or sometimes bad smell. So in this case, they've used these micro capsules in the ink, and that creates this bakery fragrance. And it's been launched on the day of Saint Honoré, who is the patron saint of bakers and pastry chefs in France. And I have to say that the baguette really is the symbol of France. If you asked anyone to name three things that the French are famous for, I'd probably say it's berets, the Eiffel Tower, and baguettes.
Ah, yeah. I was going to say beret, baguettes, and wine.
That too. Possibly cheese.
And cheese.
And garlic.
Yeah,
and
so
onions.
many things actually.
And sausages.
Yeah, many things come to mind when you think of France.
And the Louvre.
Oh, yes, of course. 자, scratch and sniff postage stamps입니다. 우표는 우표인데요. Scratch and sniff라는 걸 한번 볼게요.
Yeah, so this was a phrase that's been used, I think, back since the 1950s, maybe, when it first became a gimmick. There were movies that would have scratch and sniff cards. So as
Right.
you watched the movie at a particular scene, you would scratch one square on the card, and it would emit a fragrance that would, I don't know, give you a new experience, give you an idea of the smell of the scene. So yes, so it's something that you scratch and you get a smell from it.
Exactly. 이게 하나의 표현으로 중간중간 하이픈으로 묶여 있어요. scratch는 긁는 거고 그다음에 sniff는 이렇게 냄새를 맡는 겁니다. 그래서 우표를 이렇게 손가락으로 살살 긁으면 이 향이 나요. 그거를 이제 scratch and sniff라는 하나의 표현으로 묘사하고 있습니다.
Yeah, I think for people our age or older, you
Yeah.
might remember in the magazines where they would have scratch and sniff perfume samples.
Oh yes. Don't they have that anymore?
I don't buy magazines, so
Well, nor do I, so I wouldn't know. 그러네요. 그 요즘도 있지 않을까 싶은데 가끔 이제 향수 샘플로 이렇게 긁으면은 향이 나는
네.
마트 같은 데도 가면은 가끔 이제 차량 방향제 같은 거 이렇게 긁으면 냄새가 나게끔 테스터로 이렇게 전시해 놓는 것 같아요.
But I don't want a perfume scratch and sniff. I want a baguette scratch and
baguette.
sniff.
Yeah, I've never ever thought of having a sort of bread smelling thing. So this is interesting.
But yeah, and delicious.
네. 우리 청취자분들 중에 혹시 파리에서 듣고 계신, 프랑스에서 듣고 계신 분 중에 요 우표 구할 수 있으면은 실제로 바게트 향이 나는지 알려주시면 좋을 것 같아요. 너무 좋네요. Scratch and sniff, postage stamps 받고 그 다음에는 it's all about this artisan baguette.
Yes, so we use this term artisan. The other term that's interchangeable is artisanal. There's just an AL on the end. And it means that it's made by hand, that it's crafted with skill, and that it's traditional. So, for example, I would say the best kimchi in Korea is going to be artisan kimchi. It's kimchi that's made with love, that's made by hand, that contains traditional ingredients. And the same with artisan baguettes. I love an artisan baguette.
아티산이 사람한테 말할 때는 장인이거든요. 근데 여기서는 이제 형용사로 바게트를 꾸며주고 있는데 장인이 만든 전통 방식으로 만든 바게트. 그것을 기념하기 위한 우표. 이 말을 하려고 이제 쭉 설명을 하고 있는 거죠. artisanal이라고 할 수도 있습니다.
네.
자, here's the headline again. France has issued scratch and sniff postage stamps that smell like a bakery to celebrate the country's artisan baguette.
Korea's cosmetics exports reached $8.5 billion in 2023, maintaining the country's position as the fourth largest exporter in the world.
지난해 우리나라 화장품 수출액이 85억 달러에 달하면서 세계 4위 규모를 유지한 것으로 나타났습니다. Tell us more.
Right, so this is according to data by the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety, and it said that exports of Korea's cosmetics gained ground last year due to rising demand from especially North America and Europe. They did say that cosmetics exports to China slid, while exports to the US, Europe, and Japan rose. So overseas sales of Korean beauty products rose 6.4% to $8.5 billion in 2023 from a year earlier, and this marked the second highest annual figure following a $9.2 billion in exports recorded back in 2021, and this helped the country to maintain the world's fourth largest export volume. In number one for 2023 was France. So France was the world's top cosmetics exporter, which was followed by the US, Germany, and then South Korea.
네. 지금 K-뷰티, K-코스메틱스 이게 유행인 지가 벌써 이제 여러 해 됐습니다만
Oh, yes.
네, 계속해서 쭉 이어지는 것 같아요. It's not just a temporary thing. I mean, people all around the world often say Koreans look very young.
Yeah.
And it's probably thanks to their cosmetics
Yeah.
and things like that. Maybe the food as well.
I'm so surprised when, I'm looking through some of my social media feed and I see foreigners, influencers, using these products and say, oh, this is so good. It gives you this sort of glowing skin, or they're using the cosmetics makeup products,
Right.
for your eyes or for your lips.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. 그 투명한 피부 영어로 뭐 glass skin이라고 하나요?
Yeah, dewy skin,
Dewy
glowy
skin?
skin. Yeah.
그래요. 저는 뭐라고 표현하는지는 잘 모르겠지만 어쨌든 Koreans do have good skin.
Yes.
Very youthful
Yeah.
skin. 자, 그래요. 그다음에 아까 이제 그 수출액이 전 세계 4위 규모다 이런 얘기하면서 export volume is ranked number 4 around the world if we look at South Korea's export volume for cosmetics. 이런 얘기를 하셨습니다. 자, 그러면 우리 화장품이라는 표현 한번 볼게요.
Right. So, cosmetics. So, we're referring to these products that are applied to the body. It can be body, but we're talking about products that are applied to especially the face in order to improve its appearance.
그래요. 화장품을 메이크업이라고 할 수도 있고요.
Yes.
cosmetics라고 많이 하죠. 그래서 아마 이제 이런 사인 보셨을 것 같아요. 면세점 같은 데 가시면은 cosmetics 이렇게 써 있습니다. 자, 그다음에 maintaining a position.
Right. When you're maintaining a position, it means to keep or remain in a certain place or a rank. If you maintain something, it means you continue to have it, and you're not letting it stop or grow weaker. And a position is a person or a thing's place or rank in relation to others, especially in a competitive situation.
Right. maintain이라는 것은 유지한다는 뜻이고요. position은 여기서는 자리, 또 위치, 사위 자리를 여기서 말하고 있는 거겠죠. It's maintaining its position as the fourth largest exporter of cosmetics in the world.
Yep.
그런데 이 maintaining my position 해가지고 나의 의견이 여전하다라는
Yeah.
뜻으로도 쓸 수
Yeah,
있습니다.
that's right. Yeah.
그래요. maintaining a position. All right, here's the headline again. Korea's cosmetics exports reached $8.5 billion in 2023, maintaining the country's position as the fourth largest exporter in the world. Now let's move on to the second headline.
A San Francisco-bound plane leaving from Incheon International Airport was forced to fly back to Korea due to its pilot and flight attendants falling sick from food poisoning.
인천국제공항에서 출발해 미국 샌프란시스코를 향하던 여객기가 기장과 승무원들의 단체 식중독으로 인해 회항하는 일이 발생했습니다. Okay, so tell us more.
Right, so it was a United Airlines aircraft. The flight number was UA806. It took off from Incheon International Airport at 11:30 a.m. on Sunday, but it had to return back to Korea after flying to Sendai, a city in northeast Japan. And they said that the official reason for the plane flying back to Korea was marked as miscellaneous. And they say that defects such as gas leaks are not marked as miscellaneous in reports on reasons for return, but problems such as food poisoning are marked as such. And there was a video that was uploaded to social media by one of the plane's passengers, and a flight attendant is shown apologizing, stating that the plane's crew members, including its pilot, were all sick from food poisoning. And the flight attendant is shown saying that we had no choice, as the flight attendants and pilots have been extremely sick after eating food, and attendants on the ground will be aiding the passengers on their trips, and they're seen apologizing to the passengers. And they don't know right now if the food poisoning occurred after the crew members consumed food either on the flight or before boarding the flight.
Okay. Well, that shouldn't be too hard to figure out,
Yeah.
given that they were all sort of food poisoned
Yeah.
around the same
Yeah.
time and they had similar symptoms. United Airlines, I assume, is an American
Yes.
carrier.
Yes.
But as you said, we don't know if it happened on the plane, before they got on the plane, but the staff
Yeah.
did get sick. Okay, so the first expression to look at here is that the plane was forced to fly back.
Right. So if you are forced to do something, it means that you have to do it even if you don't want to. So you are doing something against your will.
그렇죠. 뭔가를 강요받을 때 be forced to do something이라고 합니다. I was forced to dance.
Yeah.
예를 들자면은
Right. So if you don't like dancing,
Yeah. Or I was forced to do the dishes. You know, whatever it is.
Right.
뭐뭐 하도록 강요받았다. 반대로 이 강요한 입장이면은 I forced someone to dance.
Right.
이런 식으로 할 수 있겠죠.
Yeah.
I don't know why I have dancing in my head this
Yeah.
morning. It's just something I dread.
something you don't want to do,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Maybe go on stage and do it in front of other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, and food poisoning is quite
Right.
literal, but what is it?
Right. So food poisoning is when you are when the food has been tainted by some sort of bacteria or other toxin, and it causes you to become ill. And the typical symptoms include vomiting and diarrhea.
그렇죠. 식중독을요, food poisoning이라고 합니다. poison이라는 게 독이죠. 그래서 poisonous mushrooms,
Yes.
for example. 그렇게 말하면 이 독성이 있는 버섯이라는 의미가 되겠고, you have poisonous animals with poisonous venoms.
Yes, poisonous snakes.
Poisonous
Yeah.
snakes.
Yeah.
그렇죠.
Poisonous frogs. Yep.
맞습니다. 그런 이렇게 독을 내뿜는 동물들 얘기할 때도 poisonous라고 할 수 있고요. Well, here's the headline again. A San Francisco-bound plane leaving from Incheon International Airport was forced to fly back to Korea due to its pilot and flight attendants falling sick from food poisoning.
The International Criminal Court's prosecutor has requested arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his defense chief, and 3 Hamas leaders over alleged war crimes.
국제형사재판소 ICC 검찰이 이스라엘의 베냐민 네타냐후 총리와 국방장관 그리고 무장정파 하마스 지도자 3명에 대해 전쟁 범죄 혐의로 체포영장을 청구했습니다. Tell us more.
Right, so ICC prosecutor Karim Khan said in a statement issued after more than 7 months of war in Gaza that he had reasonable grounds to believe these 5 men bear criminal responsibility for alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity. So he said that he applied for an arrest warrant for Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant as well as for Netanyahu. They have overseen Israel's offensive against Hamas in Gaza since the Palestinian militant group's deadly October 7th raid on Israel. And Khan has also applied for arrest warrants for Hamas chief Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed al-Masri, the commander-in-chief of the military wing of Hamas, who is widely known as Deif, and Ismail Haniyeh, the head of Hamas's political bureau. A panel of pretrial judges will determine whether the evidence supports the arrest warrants, but the court has no means to enforce such warrants, and its investigation into Gaza war has been opposed by the U.S. and Israel. On the other hand, Israel and Palestinian leaders, they've dismissed allegations of war crimes, and representatives for both sides have criticized Khan's decision. Meanwhile, U.S. President Joe Biden called the legal step outrageous, while Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said it could jeopardize negotiations on a hostage deal and ceasefire.
Oh, very interesting. So it looks like a lot of the parties you mentioned there, Israel, the Palestinians, the US president, and so on, they are not on the same page
Yeah.
as the ICC prosecutor, Khan. That this attack going back and forth between the Palestinians and Israel along the Gaza Strip, it's been going on for what, 8 months now already?
It's been going on for quite a long time. Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's have a look at this expression here. The prosecutor has requested arrest warrants.
Right. So when you request something, you are asking for something either politely or in a formal way.
청구하다라는 뜻으로 여기서는 쓰였습니다. Request an arrest warrant. 그러면 체포영장을 청구하는 건데요. 우리가 일반적으로 request라고 하면 요청하다라는 뜻이 되죠. 그래서 ask for something이랑 의미가 똑같지만 훨씬 정중합니다. 자, 그다음에 alleged war crimes. I think you can say alleged or alleged.
Yes, both work fine.
Yeah.
So when we're talking about an incident or a person, we're saying that it's said without proof, or to have taken place, or to have a specified illegal or undesirable quality. So you're accused but not proven or convicted.
Exactly. And this is a very important word to use, especially in the news when we talk about any sort of crime. Until they are convicted, you have to make sure that you say this is an alleged crime.
Yes.
혐의라는 뜻이 있죠. allegation.
Yeah.
그래서 alleged 하고 나서 그 범죄를 얘기하면 무슨 범죄 혐의라는 뜻이 되는데요. 이게 정확하게 밝혀지기 전까지는 혐의니까. 그래서 alleged, or they are alleged to have done, this is the allegation, 이런 식으로 뉴스에서 많이 얘기를 합니다. 만약에 이제 그 정확하게 이 범죄를 저지른 것이 팩트로
Yeah.
드러났을 때는 그때는 convicted
Yes.
라고 얘기를 할 텐데 여기선 그렇지 않습니다. 자, 추정된다, 혐의라는 뜻을 기억하시면 되겠고요. 다시 한번 읽어보겠습니다. The International Criminal Court's prosecutor has requested arrest warrants for Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, his defense chief, and 3 Hamas leaders over alleged war crimes. Let's move on to the next headline.
Actress Scarlett Johansson's legal team has demanded that OpenAI disclose how it developed an AI personal assistant voice that the actress says sounds uncannily similar to her own.
배우 스칼렛 요한슨이 자신의 목소리와 이상하리만치 닮은 오픈 AI의 AI 챗봇 목소리에 대해 개발 과정을 공개하라고 자신의 법률팀을 통해 오픈 AI에 요구했습니다. Okay, so imagine the surprise or the shock when you hear some sort of AI chatbot and it sounds just like you, right?
Yeah. So it seems like it was more of a shock to her because the OpenAI CEO had said that he really liked this movie that she was in. She starred in Spike Jonze's film
Right.
back in 2013 called Her, and he had openly said that that was his favorite film.
Interesting.
And that film, I think the film has to do something with, I think there's a robot voice in there.
Yeah.
So he's mentioned this before. So I think Scarlett Johansson said in a statement that was shared on CNN that she was shocked, angered, and in disbelief. So this comes after OpenAI said that it is hitting the pause button on the update after comparisons with the fictional voice assistant that was portrayed on this film, Her, by Johansson. And this retreat by OpenAI, if it follows a backlash to the artificial voice. It's known as Sky, and critics have described as being very familiar with users and sounds as if it emerged from a male developer's fantasy, and it's been mocked for its very flirtatious tone.
Yeah, because she does have a very distinct,
She has a
almost
very sort of
sultry, sexy voice.
Yeah, she does, right?
It's not just a voice you would hear anywhere.
Right.
It is quite distinctive.
Right, and it didn't come out of nowhere because, like I mentioned, Johansson has said that OpenAI CEO Sam Altman had offered to hire her last September to voice the ChatGPT 4.0 system, and she said that she had declined for personal reasons.
자, 오픈AI의 CEO인 샘 알트만이 평소에도 스칼렛 요한슨이 주연으로 출연했던 영화를 굉장히 좋아한다 이런 말을 또 했을 뿐만 아니라 실제로 작년에 그 챗GPT-4의 목소리 더빙을 하겠느냐 이런 제안을 했었대요. 근데 스칼렛 요한슨이 개인적인 이유로 하지 못했는데 근데 이제 결과물을 보니까 자기 목소리랑 너무나 비슷한 목소리의 챗봇이 나왔다는 겁니다. 이번에 그 실제로 보이스가 들어간 챗GPT 업데이트 버전이 있다고 해서 전 아직 어떻게 사용하는지 몰라가지고
We are behind.
그래서 사용해보지
We are behind the
못했는데
times.
스칼렛 요한슨의 목소리가 굉장히 독특해요. 굉장히 좀 섹시한 목소리이기도 하고 그거를 이제 딱 듣자마자 아마 뭐 다른 사람들도 그렇게 느꼈겠지만 본인도 이거 난데?
Yeah.
이렇게 생각했을 것 같아요.
Right.
자, 표현 보겠습니다.
Well, I do have to mention they
Sure,
did
yes.
come out and say that it is not her voice. They
Oh,
did
right,
hire
right.
someone else to record the
okay.
voicing. Yes.
아, 그래요. 챗GPT를 만든 오픈 AI 측에서는 이 목소리 녹음을 다른 사람이 한 것이 맞다.
Yeah.
스칼렛 요한슨의 목소리를 우리가 뭐 도용을 했다든지 그런 것이 아니다.
Yeah.
이렇게 밝히기는 했답니다. 자, 그래도 그럼에도 불구하고 스칼렛 요한슨 법률팀에서는
It
준비한
sounds too
과정,
similar. Yeah.
개발 과정 다
Yeah.
공개해라.
Yeah.
거기 혹시라도
Yeah.
뭐 스칼렛 요한슨의 목소리가 들어가 있는지
Because you can
확인하려는
do
것
all
같아요.
sorts of things
Yeah.
with, this technology that we have these days, right?
Sure. And
Yep.
they're saying disclose how you made this.
Right, right. So when you're disclosing something, you're revealing or making some sort of secret or new information known.
Yeah. disclose 공개하다입니다. 그래서 reveal이랑 비슷해요. 그렇지만 이제 공식적으로는 disclosure, disclosing, disclose 이런 말을 많이 쓰는데
Yeah.
어떻게 개발했는지 다 공개해라. disclose it 이렇게 얘기를 했고요. 자, 그 다음에는 이제 목소리가 너무나 비슷하다. It's uncannily similar. Or you could just say it's uncanny.
Yeah, it's uncanny, uncannily. So something's eerily similar, mysteriously or strangely similar.
이 uncanny라는 것은 특히 뭔가 비슷할 때, 외모든 목소리든 무엇인가 굉장히 비슷할 때 많이 쓰는 표현이에요. 그래서 uncanny만 단독으로 써도 비슷하다의 느낌이 있는데 uncanny의 이 단어의 뜻 자체는 이상하리만큼
Yes.
이지만 그 뉘앙스는 비슷하다예요.
Yeah, something that's kind of impossible to explain.
그렇죠.
Yeah.
네, 네. 그래서 예를 들자면은 뭐 그 배우들의 자녀들 보면 가끔 너무너무 부모랑 비슷하게 생긴 자녀들이 있어요. 그래서 you look at the son or the daughter and you say, you know what? The resemblance or it's just uncanny how much you look like your
Yeah.
father or your
Yeah.
mother.
Yeah.
그래서 uncanny가 정말 비슷할 때 많이 쓰는데 목소리입니다 여기서는. The AI chatbot sounds uncannily similar to Scarlett Johansson's voice. Here's the headline again. Actress Scarlett Johansson's legal team has demanded that OpenAI disclose how it developed an AI personal assistant voice that the actress says sounds uncannily similar to her own. And here's our final headline.
UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has apologized after a public inquiry's report revealed that around 30,000 people were infected with hepatitis and HIV from contaminated blood transfusions between the 1970s and 1990s.
1970년대에서 90년대 사이 영국에서 약 3만 명이 오염된 혈액을 수혈받아 인체 면역 결핍 바이러스 HIV와 C형 간염에 걸렸다는 조사 보고서가 나오자 리시 수낙 영국 총리가 공식 사과했습니다. Tell us more.
Yeah, so he has apologized, and it came just hours after the publication of a very long-awaited report that identified a catalog of failures over 2 decades by the government and medical officials in Britain. Most of them, they say, were avoidable errors that were then covered up.
Yes.
This report is 2,000 pages long and is the product of a nearly 6-year inquiry that the British government ordered back in 2017 after decades of pressure from victims and their families. So the Prime Minister has vowed that the government would pay comprehensive compensation to those infected and to their families. The British government back in 2022 had agreed to distribute to each victim an interim payment of £100,000, which is equivalent to about 127,000 US dollars. So this goes back to the 70s and 80s, when thousands of patients back then, they were exposed to the contaminated blood. Back then, some had required transfusions after accidents due to surgery or complications during childbirth.
자, 이게 굉장히 긴 시간 동안 많은 사람에게 혈액이 수혈이 됐는데 그게 오염이 됐었다는 것을
Yeah.
이제 좀 뒤늦게 알기는 했었지만 그거를
They just
알았을
covered it up.
때라도
Yep.
예, 공개를 하고 사과를 하고 그다음에 여러 가지 조치를 취했으면 좋았는데 그걸 은닉했다는 겁니다. 이제 cover up이라는 게 덮어두다, 은닉하다 이런 뜻이 있습니다. 그래서 여러 가지가 지금 드러났고요. 이번 조사가 여러 해 동안 진행이 된 것였죠? 6년 정도
Yeah,
동안.
since
네.
2017.
그렇습니다.
Yeah.
그래서 6년에 걸친 이 조사 결과가 이번에 나왔고요. 그로 인해서 이제 공식 사과를 리시 수낙이 현재 총리니까 정부를 대표해서 사과를 했습니다. But that can't really take back the 30,000 people who fell sick and also 3,000 people who died as well. Let's have a look at the first expression, public inquiry.
Right. A public inquiry is an official review of events or maybe actions that has been ordered by a government body. So in this case, the government has ordered this review. They came out with this 2,000-page report of the results.
네. 공개 조사라고 할 수 있을 것 같아요. 어떤 공식적인 조사, 그걸 public inquiry라고 합니다. And the blood transfusions were infected.
Right.
Or the people became infected with the contaminated infusions.
Yeah. So when you are infected with something, it means that you, well, in this case, the blood was contaminated with harmful, viruses like hepatitis or HIV. These viruses, harmful viruses.
그러네요. The people were infected. 사람들이 감염이 됐습니다. 왜냐면은 그 blood transfusion, 수혈받은 혈액이 contaminated, 오염이 됐었거든요. 그래서 be infected, 그러면 감염됐다. 감염이라는 명사는 infection이 되겠죠. 그래서 그동안 꽤 오래 기간 이렇게 은폐된 사실에 대해서 영국 총리가 사과했다는 내용의 헤드라인 다시 읽어보겠습니다. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak has apologized after a public inquiry's report revealed that around 30,000 people were infected with hepatitis and HIV from contaminated blood transfusions between the 1970s and 1990s.
Gangwon Province has reported its first African swine fever case in around 8 months at a farm in Cholwon, which raised some 1,200 pigs, according to the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs.
농림축산식품부에 따르면 돼지 약 1,200마리를 사육하는 강원도 철원의 한 양돈 농가에서 약 8개월 만에 도내 첫 아프리카 돼지열병 ASF 확진 판정이 나왔습니다. Tell us more. What's going on?
Well, as we mentioned here, this was found in Cholwon County in Gangwon Province. So this is the first case of ASF since September in Gangwon-do.
Right.
However, this is the third case of 2024 nationwide. So there were 2 cases in January, one in Paju and another in Gyeongsang, Bukdo.
No, right, exactly. 그래요. 자, 지금 강원도만 놓고 봤을 때는 지난 9월 이후 8개월 만에 첫 아프리카 돼지열병 확진 판정이 나왔습니다. 그러나 전국적으로 봤을 때는 올해 들어 3번째인데요. 올 1월 달에 경기도 파주 그리고 경북 영덕에서도 역시 아프리카 돼지열병이 확진이 됐었습니다. So what's happening then?
Well, with ASF, one thing we should point out is that it does not affect humans, but it is very deadly to pigs. There's no vaccine or there's no cure for the disease. So when there's an outbreak, they do need to cull
the
the
animals.
animals at the farm to stop the spread. And cull means when they systematically kill the animals.
Exactly. So a lot of pigs obviously will have to be culled.
Right, I
in this
believe
case.
I saw a different report. I don't have it here, but around 30 of them, I believe, they're planning to be culled.
네, 그렇습니다. 지금 이제 사람한테는 영향을 미치진 않지만 돼지에게는 치명적이기 때문에 그래서 해당 농가에서 기르는 돼지들은 이제 매몰 처분하기로 했다고 합니다. 이걸 영어로는 culling, C-U-L-L이라고 합니다. I can see some reports saying around 1,200 pigs will be culled. So I guess that's
They're
quite a lot
they're
there.
gonna cull all the pigs at that farm? Because that's the number I
that's-
have for how many pigs are at that farm.
Yeah, it looks like
Wow,
it. They're
okay.
going to 1,200 at this particular farm is what I'm seeing right now. And of course, they want to make sure that any farm nearby is checked and everything.
Right, and in this area, apparently there are 65 pig farms within a 10-kilometer radius of this farm, and there's in that area, around 140,000 pigs combined.
네, 그렇죠. 지금 이 아프리카 돼지열병이 발생한 농장 10km 반경 그 주변에 또 다른 농장들이 무려 65개나 있다고 합니다. 그래서 그 65개의 농장에 있는 돼지의 개체수가 한 14만 마리여서 일단은 다 확인을 좀 해볼 상황이라고 하는 거고요. Hopefully none of the other farms have been affected.
Right. They do. The government did issue a 48-hour standstill order for pig farms and any
see.
relating facilities.
Yeah.
So limiting who can come in and out of these farms for a few days.
그렇죠. 그 이동 중지 명령이 내려졌다고 하는데요. Moving back and forth between the farms or going near the farms has been restricted for a number of days, as you said. Okay, let's look at the first expression. Instead of saying pig, we say swine in this case.
We could say swine as well. It's just another
Yeah.
word for a pig.
Yeah,
A swine.
For this disease, though, we always say African swine fever, not African pig fever.
Right, right.
It's just one of those things.
Exactly. But if you hear swine, you know it's deji.
그렇죠. Yeah. Same with bird flu. We can also say avian influenza. So
that's
there are
right.
certain words that mean the same animal, but it's just a different word.
Correct.
여기서는 돼지라는 뜻의 swine이 쓰였습니다. S-W-I-N-E. The next expression is to raise the animals.
Right. So when we raise animals, so a lot of times people will use this for pets, and it's a little bit unnatural because we would say, I have a pet,
Yeah.
or I take care of a pet, I own
Yeah.
a pet. When we talk about raising animals, it is usually for farms.
Yeah.
And they breed the animals from when the time they're very young, and then they take care of them. And they're also using them for dairy farms, for example, they'll use animals for milk and then
Yep.
eventually for meat.
그렇죠. 가축 등을 기르다, 사육하다라는 의미로 raise 그리고 이제 pigs, cows, chickens 이렇게 얘기하면 될 것 같아요.
Livestock, right?
But interestingly, you can also use raise to talk about raising a baby for people.
Right, because
Yeah,
again, then
yeah.
you've bred the baby,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly.
And you've taken care of the kid from when it was very very young.
Yeah.
And also raising a kid also implies that you're teaching the child
Yeah.
certain values and life lessons, teaching them how to speak and how to grow up and be productive members of society.
Exactly. So you could say, I was born and raised in a certain country,
Right.
meaning you were born there and you spent your childhood there as well.
Exactly. It's where you grew up.
Yes, exactly. 자, raise까지 봤습니다. Here's the headline again. Korea has reported its first African swine fever case in around, let me look at the headline again. Right. In around 8 months at a farm in Cheoron, which raised some 1,200 pigs, according to the Ministry of Agriculture, Food and Rural Affairs. Let's move on to the next headline.
The middle class group in Korea has expanded along with the country's economic growth, but the income gap between the middle and upper classes has widened to its highest level, according to an analysis.
경제 성장의 영향으로 우리나라 중산층 비중은 늘고 있지만 중산층과 상류층 간 소득 격차는 사상 최대로 벌어졌다는 분석이 나왔습니다. It's interesting how it's getting, more people are sort of in that middle class.
That's right.
And yet the difference,
The
gap is widening.
Yeah, it is. It is interesting. So this analysis came from Mail Business newspaper, and they were using Statistics Korea. Statistic Korea's income distribution and social survey data. So this was all data compiled by Statistics Korea.
Right.
So the things that they were looking at here is, so there's 5 tiers.
Okay.
And the middle class is considered the third tier. So this was the middle class, if we're looking at a monthly income of 4.49 million won in 2022. Now, the income of households in the top tier, which we'll call the highest class, the upper class, 13 million won
see.
per month. So this income gap stood, so that the gap between the third tier and the fifth tier, 8.5 million won, and that's the highest since these type of statistics began to be compiled back in 2011.
Well, let's talk about that expression there, gap. We're talking
Gap
about
means space in
Yeah,
general. Some people
yeah.
have a gap between their teeth.
Yeah.
You'll say that.
In the UK, you might hear mind the gap.
You hear that a lot,
The
right? On
subway
the subway,
station,
right?
yeah.
But And in some subway stations in Seoul actually have quite a large gap. You have to be
Still?
careful. Some
Really?
do, yeah,
Oh,
not all,
okay,
but there
right.
are a few that I know of.
Right. Most of the subways here, of course, do have those screen doors, but some don't. So I
I
guess.
don't know, even with the screen door, I just mean there's a bit of a gap between
I
the
see.
platform and the
Right.
train. And that's what they mean by mean the gap in London, because there is quite a big one. You definitely got to be careful when you step off.
네, 이 틈이라는 뜻이 있어서요. 영국에서 Mind the Gap라는 방송을 들으신 적이 있으실 것 같은데 뭐냐면은 그 전철을 탈 때요, 기차를 탈 때라든지 승강장과 그 다음에 열차 사이의 간격을 말합니다. 그래서 이게 넓으니까 발 조심하세요라는 뜻으로 Mind the Gap라고 하고요. 아까 teeth 얘기를 했는데 이제 이 사이에 좀 이제 틈이 있으면 I have a gap between my teeth 이렇게 말할 수도 있고, but here it's an income gap.
Income gap. So
Yeah.
this is the difference between income earned, and we usually talk about it between different demographic segments,
Yeah.
different groups of people. So
Sure.
we could talk about the income gap between rich and poor, and in this case, the income gap between the upper and middle class.
Exactly. 여기서 말하는 거는 이제 소득의 격차가 되겠습니다. Income gap. And that has widened.
Right, and if anyone
Yeah.
who's watching can see Sue's hands, when
Yeah.
something widens, it becomes bigger, becomes larger.
네, 점점 넓어졌다라는 뜻이 되겠습니다. Here's the headline again. The middle class group in Korea has expanded along with the country's economic growth, but the income gap between the middle and upper classes has widened to its highest level, according to an analysis.
The U.S. has assessed that Russia launched what is likely a counter space weapon last week that's now in the same orbit as a U.S. government satellite.
미국은 러시아가 지난주 쏘아올려 현재 미국 정부 위성과 같은 궤도에 배치된 위성이 대우주 무기로 보인다는 평가를 내놨습니다. Tell us more.
Well, the Pentagon spokesman, Major General Pat Ryder, he mentioned here that their assessments further indicate, he said, characteristics resembling previously deployed counter space payloads from 2019 to 2022. So this isn't the first time Russia has done this type of thing.
Right.
The Major General wouldn't discuss whether the U.S. knew in advance that this launch contained a particular type of counter space weapon.
Right,
So,
there's this whole space war going on. Some people are sort of jokingly referring to it as the Star Wars, if you will, but it's no joke.
no, it's happening. Yeah, and it's been happening for a number of years
Yeah.
too. It's not the first time.
Exactly. Well, this has been assessed by the US.
Right, when you make an assessment, you judge something. In this case, they're judging the fact that this happened based on intelligence that they have, based on known facts, based on information.
You have to be careful of the stress of the word. It's assess. You don't want to stress the other word. So here, of course, we're talking about
on fire
assessing
today. Wow.
an assessment.
Yes. Yeah.
Because then you could be talking about many donkeys if you say it a different way, and you don't want to do that.
At least two of them, yeah.
자, assess 이렇게 하는 게 평가하다라는 뜻인데요. 여기서는 미국 측에서 이러한 평가를 내놨다, 보고서를 발표했다 이렇게 보면 되겠고요. 그다음에 counter라는 표현 보겠습니다.
So if you counter something, there's a few different ways to think of it. It can be to oppose something, to reverse something, or to respond to something. So
Yeah.
we'll hear a lot about counter offers. If you're in a negotiation,
Right.
you might make a counter offer. You don't like the offer you received, so you counter with an offer that's better for you. In boxing, we talk about counter punching a lot.
Yep.
When one boxer throws a punch, the other boxer times it and throws their punch at the same time to oppose their opponent. A counterpoint, if you're having a discussion or a debate, you make a counterpoint. It's to oppose or to respond to the other side. In this case, and even what the Major General said here is that they believe these space weapons could have the capability to attack American satellites. So if they don't like the American satellite, they're going to
Right.
oppose that by they could take it out if they wanted to.
네, 반대하다, 대항하다라는 뜻의 접두사거든요. 그래서 이제 counter space라는 표현이 나왔는데 우주에서 어떤 대항할 만한 그런 무기로 평가가 된다 이렇게 얘기를 하고 있습니다. 이 counter라는 것에 여러 가지 예시를 좀 주셨는데요. 저도 이제 생각나는 것들은 counterpart라는 표현이 있는데 이거는 나와 대등한 수준의 상대방이라는 뜻이죠. 그래서 뉴스에서는 보통 한 나라의 대통령이나 아니면은 뭐 이제 영국 같은 경우에는 국무총리가 되겠죠. 국가 수반과 또 상대 국가의 똑같은 레벨에 있는 사람을 counterpart라고 얘기를 합니다. 그래서 또 뭐 counterclockwise 이런 표현도 있는데요. 이건 단식의 방향, anticlockwise랑 똑같은 말입니다. Okay, here's the headline again. The US has assessed that Russia launched what is likely a counter-space weapon last week that's now in the same orbit as a US government satellite. Here's our next headline.
A billionaire in the U.S. surprised graduates at the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth with envelopes containing $1,000 each, under the condition that they keep half of the money and donate the other half to an organization or a person in need.
다트머스 대학 졸업식에 참석한 미국의 한 억만장자가 절반은 자신을 위해 쓰고 나머지 절반은 도움이 필요한 이웃이나 단체에 기부하는 것을 조건으로 졸업생들에게 각각 $1,000, 우리 돈으로 약 130만 원이 든 봉투를 예고 없이 전달했습니다. 물론 환율에 따라서 뭐 136만 원, 140만 원, 130만 원 왔다 갔다 하겠지만서도요. Tell us more. What a nice surprise.
Right. So the billionaire we're talking about is Robert Hale Jr. He is the CEO and founder of Granite Telecommunications, so a big telecom company, and he's done a lot of work, local philanthropy in that area. So he did this right before he was set to receive the chancellor's medal for all his philanthropic work?
Yeah.
How's that pronunciation?
Yes,
Did I nail that? Yeah,
perfect.
that's not an easy one to say.
Yeah.
Philanthropy is when you give to other people, right? You make donations, and a lot of times it's rich people giving their money
Yeah.
to others. So he decided to actually, Robert Hale Jr. decided to share more of his fortune. He's decided to make these, they apparently a truck pulled up near the stage with duffel bags with all these envelopes in them.
Because there were almost 500 graduates there. So, you would need more than, a couple of people with these envelopes. Of course you'd
Yes.
need a truck.
Right, exactly. So the envelopes had $500 in them each. Each graduate received 2 envelopes, and as we mentioned here in the headline, one they got to keep,
Yeah.
and one they had to donate. So Robert Hale mentioned during his speech that the pandemic heightened our need to help others.
Yeah.
So he said he wanted the graduates to share the joy of sharing.
너무 좋네요. 490명의 졸업생이 있는 이 졸업식장에서 예고도 없이 억만장자가 트럭을 가져와가지고 그 뒤에 엄청난 현금 다발을 꺼내서 봉투 2개씩, 한 학생당 2개씩 줬대요. 각 봉투에는 $500가 들어있었는데 봉투 하나는 기부를 해라. 하나는 너 자신을 위해서 써라. 그러면서 이 기부하는 즐거움을 아이들에게 선물해주고 싶었다. 이렇게 설명을 했습니다. 와. 자, 첫 번째 표현 보겠습니다. Under the condition that.
Means you're only going to do something if a certain requirement is met.
Exactly.
So you can't get what you're gonna. A lot of times, when you receive certain benefits, right? Like you can only get it under a certain condition.
Yeah. 그렇죠. 어떤 조건 하에서 under a certain condition.
A lot of the times you have to, when you get maybe free delivery, for example, you have to spend a certain amount of money.
Yeah.
So you can get free shipping under the condition that you spend X amount of money.
네, 그렇습니다. 컨디션이 여기선 조건이고요. 우리도 무슨 조건 하에라고 하잖아요. 영어로도 under the condition that 이렇게 표현을 하고요. We're talking about using half of that money for people in need.
Yeah, when you say people in need, it means poor people without money. So they need money. Now there's also an expression in need of. So you can use that yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, after I read the headlines, I'm in need of some water. Or you might be in need of a washroom, for
Exactly.
example. Something that there's an emergency and you need that thing.
Exactly. 그래서 be in need of something 그러면은 무언가가 필요하다. I need something이랑 똑같은 건데요. 그게 아니라 여기서는 a person in need, someone in need. 이거는 도움을 필요로 하는 좀 힘든 상황 속에 있는 내지는 불우한 이웃이란 뜻입니다. 속담 중에 이런 말도 있죠. A friend in need is a friend indeed. 이때는 정말 내가 힘들 때 친구가 되어주는 친구가 진짜 친구다.
I always found that expression very strange.
Yeah, because
A friend in need, someone who needs my help, they're a real friend? No, I'm a real friend if I'm
Right.
helping them.
So to be absolutely technical on this expression, you'd have to say a friend that helps me when I am in need is a friend
Right,
indeed.
because I think a friend in need
Yeah.
is annoying. No, okay. All right. Let's stick with the one. Yeah.
Okay. 자, 그래서 누구누구 in need 그러면은 어려운 상황에 처한 사람이란 뜻입니다. 자, 다시 한번 읽어볼게요. A billionaire in the US surprised graduates at the University of Massachusetts Dartmouth with envelopes containing $1,000 each, under the condition that they keep half of the money and donate the other half to an organization or person in need. Let's move on to the final headline.
High temperatures in Mexico have been linked to dozens and perhaps hundreds of deaths of howler monkeys.
최근 멕시코에서 짖는 원숭이 수십 혹은 수백 마리가 폐사한 사건에 대해 폭염에 따른 고온이 원인으로 지목됐습니다. Tell us more. Oh.
Yeah, this is definitely quite
very sad.
quite shocking. But
Yeah.
they're saying that it's so hot in Mexico these days that these monkeys have been falling dead from trees. They're saying at
goodness.
least 83 of them were found dead in the Gulf Coast state of Tabasco. Sounds like a spicy place.
I'm guessing it comes from there, actually.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would imagine.
Yeah.
And residents have also rescued other monkeys and taken them to veterinarians. So it's obviously quite a situation there. So Mexico is enduring a brutal heat wave at the moment,
Right.
and the heat wave has been linked to the deaths of at least 26 people. So let alone the
Wow.
monkeys,
Yeah.
people as well have died from this.
Yeah, we're looking at 47 degrees Celsius
I
in
could
some
not
areas.
survive.
자, the first expression here is it is linked to the high temperatures.
Yeah, it means there's a correlation. There's a connection. So in this case, we can have positive correlation or negative correlation. In this case, it's positive. So when the temperatures go up, the deaths are also going up.
연관되다, be linked to. 그 다음에 howler monkey라고 했는데요. Howler? What does that mean?
Well, a howl, if someone howls, an animal howls, they make a long, loud,
Crying
sad
sound?
noise like wolves or dogs.
yeah,
Ooh. So these monkeys
that
actually.
again?
What's that? So a howler would just be someone
A
who
wolf
howls.
wouldn't go, whoo. It would
Okay.
go, woo. No, never
Perfect.
mind.
Yeah, kind of like that. Yeah, exactly. I knew you would do it eventually. But these monkeys, they're called that because they're very loud. They howl. They call to each other. And apparently, when like a group of monkeys, monkeys hang out together,
Yeah.
when one group starts howling, then another group
yeah,
will,
exactly.
and they'll all be howling at each other.
그렇습니다. 울부짖는 거를 howling 한다라고 해요. 그래서 보통 늑대들이 우는 소리도 이렇게 부를 수 있고 사람도 만약에 정말 이렇게 이렇게 꺼이꺼이 우는 그런 모습을 보인다면 you could say a person is howling maybe with grief.
We use it. We use it for laughing too.
Oh, howling with laughter.
Yeah.
그러네요.
Yeah.
웃을 때도 엄청 크게 웃으면
Right.
이렇게 표현할 수 있습니다. 자, 다시 읽어보겠습니다. High temperatures in Mexico have been linked to dozens and perhaps hundreds of deaths of howler monkeys.